This is the Steropsis.
The Nigerian government is about to ban pornography and it's generating a lot of debate. Some people see the government's move as busybody. Some other people see it as a very good and welcome development. Now, what do you think about pornography ban in Nigeria? I think the bill has passed second reading already.
No matter the stage it has passed or the stage it has gotten, I don't understand how this country works. We always measure in the minors.
But right? it's not a minor issue. Right?
Now it's a very minor issue.
How?
Is it as major as massive corruption that is ongoing in the government?
No,
or is it also as major as the housing deficit in the country that the House have failed to tackle, even the government in the state and at the federal level have failed to tackle? You leave a lot of issues and then you're handling minor issues.
No, I don't think it's minor. Opening in Nigeria, the culturally and the religious part of Nigeria, every other person, like even our parents and every average person will agree that this thing is wrong. It affects people's mind psychologically and otherwise. I saw Guy Chimezi's post one day where he made a comment to that no serious person should be watching porn or nobody who takes his life. So, something like some people make those
and then no serious person should also have girlfriend if that is the case. But let me because even sexual immorality on its own, forget about whether you're watching porn or you're not watching porn. Sexual immorality is morally what? Wrong.
Now, with this thing, there's a quote that says that abstinence is easier than moderation.
Yes, of course.
Because once you don't have access to this, not having access to this can limit a lot of persons. Forget that they say people use VPN and all that. Imagine when Twitter was actually banned, and now that Twitter is not banned in Nigeria. Yes. The traffic they had that time, you can't compare it now. They can't even get 10% of
the traffic they have.
They understand that one thing. So it's actually something, especially for the younger people. When you're exposed to this kind of thing, the way it affects your mental development. Forget that the West.
Yes, I understand. We should also know that for me, the ban on pornography. I don't know whether to say it's welcomed or not.
I think it's a good thing.
Listen, we have our own people. Listen, it's a great income earner for those who are into it. We have a lot of, even Nigerians, just like you have in Nollywood, you have a lot of Nigerians who have sold their conscience, their shame, their facial image and everything. They are into pornography, they are acting it, and they are making a whole lot of money from it. What Nigerian government should do, like whatsoever so many other meaningful countries are doing, is to regulate it. Now, I am sure that you cannot easily go on Google and then you watch pornography. You have to download the apps. That is how it works in so many countries.
Yes, except because those countries have good identity management system where you have to enter your ID or a social security number, and then the thing will automatically check if you're 18 years or thereabouts.
No, I tell you what the normal thing is. If you are going into any porn site, I can't say I've not been victim. I've watched porn so many times.
Yes, they will say.
In fact, let me tell you, amongst Nigerians, even those who are banning it, 80% of them have watched porn.
That's why the most of them are saying that maybe, you understand, not actually maybe, but the stat is very clear about this. That once it's banned, it reduces access to it. Because if you check like the countries that watch porn, I think the US has the highest number, followed by UK, Canada, France. Yeah. And these are the countries where these things are not.
Those are even the countries where a huge volume of the pornographic videos are churned out from.
Yes.
And then if you come to Africa, you see Nigeria. Nigeria is becoming very competitive in that industry.
That's culturally, I think once access to it is limited, it's also discourages people who are actually going to it.
It is not what the government is saying is a ban. They are not restricting. Restriction and an outright ban are two different things.
How they go to how the people are into it? That one, it could be a criminal offense or thereabout.
I don't know whether the police will criminalize it. Maybe they begin to search people's phone to see who has one.
No. I think from what I read from the bill, some snippet of the bill I saw, they're actually going to direct most of the telecommunication companies that provide the internet and ISPs to blacklist
all those porn sites.
Yeah.
Now, if you blacklist porn sites, let me tell you, I've been to Dubai. Dubai is a place where betting and pornography is banned.
Yes.
India is a place where
no,
pornography
it's not prohibited. No, they are being pushed for it to be prohibited in that place.
In India.
Yes.
In Dubai, it's banned outright.
In Saudi Arabia.
Most
North
Arabic
Korea,
countries,
yes, North Korea,
and some countries like China, North Korea, those conservative countries, they have an outright ban on pornography. But a lot of people use VPN
and other private mode on their browsers to
access those things. So you cannot do anything. Someone who is so mean will go and watch them. Now you are placing a ban for the watch of pornography, and then there are whorehouses everywhere cut across all the states in Nigeria, including the north,
where they have strippers.
Where you have strippers club, you have whorehouses. When I mean whorehouses, I mean chalets where prostitutes reside. You see them everywhere.
So what should happen?
Part of Nigeria.
Okay, you mean now something should happen to all those?
You go to the big clubs. I'm coming. You go to the big clubs across the big cities in Nigeria. You see young girls littered all around the street hawking sex. What the government should do is to focus on the major things. All right, make the people viable. Leave all these majoring in minor things.
Sometimes now, this kind of thing will have a very greater effect.
No, I tell you something. If you want America, as you said, they watch porn more. What are the rape incidences that occurs in America per annum? Compare it to the rape incidences that occurs in a country like India, where porn and some other things are being restricted. You see, you have more rapes in India than you have them in America. All right.
I don't have the stats.
Now I'm telling you this. You can always, anybody can always Google it, and then you get out the fact. All right. Now, if you are talking about anything that has to do with morality, anything that affects moral value, when you privately eat what belongs to me and you use it to enrich your family, you use it to enrich your cronies, you embezzle public funds. Is it not of high moral decadence, even more than the pornography we are talking about, that the House? Why don't the House pass a bill that anybody who is being caught in corruption should be executed?
The both of them are. What I'm saying is that
I'm just saying these are more important things.
There could be minor issues that have serious effects on
let me
on the psychology for young ones.
Yeah. See, what is the economic cost of people watching porn, and then the economic cost of government officials embezzling funds, self-aggrandizement, massive suffering of the people.
Yes, both of them are good things, but we should also acknowledge maybe when they get some things right.
Should I shock you now?
Okay.
There are some people who, because of this, the cost of renting a hall has gone up. It's very expensive, right? Now the cost of getting a girlfriend is even more expensive. It is cheaper for them. Let me tell you, because you don't know the impact of what you're creating. Now, some of them, what they do is they go to their houses, lock themselves up, buy a bar of soap, and then on porn, they are catching the cruise. Yes, all these things might they have some other psychological impact.
And that's what they are trying to.
But the corruption in government has greater psychological effect.
Yes,
now,
I agree with you. When
you don't have food on the table, your morally, your spirit is already shattered. Yes. And then when it goes over a period of time that you've suffered from consistent lack, you begin to have issues with self worth. All right, and then some people are somewhere eating all those money, and then you are coming to preach to us about morality. What morality are you preaching? Those people in government. And now I tell you that if you go to some of those houses, hypothetically, you see them always going around watching those. In fact, they don't even watch porn over the TVs, or they bring them and it plays out in their houses.
I'm talking about
those people in position of authority, whatsoever they want, they even import prostitutes from abroad, and then you bring it back here. Let anybody amongst those members of the house who said he has never imported any form of prostitute, for once, let the person say it. Because we know what so many of them does behind closed doors.
No,
and then you come in public, you are preaching about moral value. What moral value?
Now, you have high number of Christians and high number of Muslims, and these things are against the both practices. Why can't you say, okay, they've done this wrong here, but they've done this also right here. They are taking the right step here. I think I read something sometimes ago where there was this report that came out in the US that the younger generations are now actually getting intimate in terms of having sex with each other more. And then they found out that why the thing is not happening that more like our parents did. You understand? But because a lot of young guys are engaged in porn and they are also isolated. They're not even interested in having children, having girlfriends again.
No. You cannot attribute that abnormal behavior.
No, that was what the study,
the research.
What that was the study found out.
Yes, I agree. I agree it was the research.
Yes.
But some researches can also be wrong and some might be correct.
Yes.
Because
but this one of the effects we are seeing.
It has come of age that the American people have been structured to reason in a particular way, especially those low-income earners in most countries. You see, these are the set of people who tells you, for instance, that you don't need to marry when you've not made money, right? And then they make you to believe that you will suffer. Of course, in reality, you will suffer if you marry when you've not made money. Okay? So now, you can't tell me that these people, that is because of porn. Don't also forget that a lot of them are also afraid of divorce, marriage and divorce, which is also very predominant.
The study was actually centered around young guys and the adventurous nature of young guys.
Sexual life.
Sexual life.
So many,
most of the
no,
young so,
so many of them, I think what so many people, especially the Gen Z, is happening here now.
Even Nigeria. You know that the study actually, it seemed like now we're having more than our parents. Yeah. But after the study, they found out that, we're even more isolated this time. Our parents had very liberal form, and now a lot of people are not even, there's a lot of people who don't have girlfriends, and more who are just on their own.
Yes, that is because it's easier to meet people now in the current generation we are in because of an avalanche of social media platforms and even hookup platforms. They are just there everywhere, all right? And then what they do is pay for sex. A lot of people just pay
and they don't want
to have a feel of the sex. Now, when you know that if you want this, you just pay for it. And then some have been shattered emotionally, so because once you date and then you had a sour experience, and then you date again, you have a sour experience, over time it begins to accumulate. The ladies will go into, what they call hookup these days. And then the men will still patronize the hookup girls. All right? So that is why.
What should the men hookup? Is it hookup also?
Hookup is hookup because
the men hook up
you be woman and be man.
So
now me go hook you. The woman they even go hook self because in those hookup groups or hookup platforms, anybody can hook anybody.
Any person
for a pay. All right. So if you cannot entirely, going back to the point now, what we should do as a country is to regulate access, not an outright ban. Because as you
what regulate access like I've told you that
you can regulate access,
but
by you know how
naturally is difficult because even those countries like in UK now, UK is like second. You understand? You have a kind of regulation in UK. I think it's with David Cameron. But see yet, they're not even able to have that kind of success they are looking at.
Now, Nigeria,
some people are championing. It's a problem in US.
But if the US and the UK have failed in that regulation,
no, there are some people championing.
Why do you think that a country like Nigeria that is still using mundane technologies will succeed? No. Except there is also an outright ban in all the use of VPN.
No. Some across Nigeria. There are some groups in the US championing that. I think it's called Project 2025 or thereabouts. It's part of 2025 outright ban. Because if you actually check what is the usefulness of this? That's a society. The way you see music gives you some other things.
Let me shock you. Because it will seems to you like I'm a lover of pornography itself. Let me shock you. Now, apart from Pornography on its own, no matter how bad it is, there are people. Just imagine that you are a virgin. You've never had sex. You don't know how to even make love to a woman. You've never had the experience of it. Or maybe your wife is always telling you about, Oga, I need some massage. And then you don't know how to do it. Sometimes you can easily go to some of these porn sites, and what do you see? You see them, maybe you need something like, let's say, yoni massage, different types of massage. You go there, you see them there.
These guys you're talking about are less than 0.5% of the population that this is.
Yes.
But there is also consequential to the whole life scale.
It's a tool of sexual education. Even some parents, listen.
Yes, but you can have other formal education that is properly regulated.
Your parents cannot teach you how to make love to your woman.
Yes,
but in pornographic movie, except those who likes weird sort of things, because I've seen a lot of weird kind of pornographic movies.
This is what I'm saying.
You need to wonder,
these things we are saying, they are very, very, very significant in the larger scale of the population who are affected by this. If it's because of these people, the government can have maybe things that can take care of those kind of things. Any person that is married can get self-education.
Now, let me.
You can get into the deal and then learn. See, the person can learn as he's moving.
Let me shock you.
No, instead of using that as an example.
Forget all these talks. Be it as it may. No matter how hard the government tries to regulate pornography, it cannot work.
Yes, no.
Now, I am telling
it's not going to actually eliminate it. Okay, even the drug. The drug. Let me tell you, even the drug, that is actually regulated, banned, and all those people still sell drugs.
Yes, of course.
Because you don't have access to.
What they will do now, what they have done, is that they've created, if they succeed in banning it, let's say you can't get it directly over the internet. There are Telegram groups that people abroad create. And that is how Indians get a lot of, because if you are exposed enough and then you are chatting with some Indians, all right, the next thing you see them do is they begin to send you pornographic movies. You begin to wonder. I think this was banned in their country. Now, what they do is that you've created a black market. A lot of people through Telegram, they will make their channels subscribable. You subscribe, and whatsoever sort, in fact, whatsoever style you need, will be made available for you.
No, that's what I'm saying. But even at that, the bill or the legislation will have achieved its own kind of objective by
how many bills in Nigeria has ever achieved a meaningful?
No, but remember. Let's take the buying of Twitter, for example. At least I know a lot of people who are not using Twitter. Even now that I think crypto or thereabout,
those who were unable to go visit Twitter were those who never knew their way around internet.
Yeah.
All right, these are people. The only thing they know is download Facebook, log into Facebook, come out, laugh.
It will actually stop a lot of things.
Someone who is tech savvy, for instance, someone like you now, you know a lot of things.
You can download VPN. You can use sometimes like some mode on your browser to get to it. But if it's actually banned, I think it will serve a lot, especially for the young ones. Ask people who have small children how they battle a lot, battle.
No, that is why in your homes, if you are buying gadgets for your younger ones, you have parental control.
Yes.
On the TV, you think the white people are not wise enough? Now, if you buy a decoder, listen, do you know that some decoders have dedicated channels only for porn? You don't know. Now, while growing up in Cameroon, I know on Fridays there was a channel that always shows pornographic movies. All right? Even the people we were living with didn't know. But the houseboys knew. And we're always in the parlor with the houseboys. So when they want to watch the pornographic movie, they will chase us away from the parlor. Until one day we found out. And it was immediately they discovered that we found out what they were doing. They started allowing us to stay in that parlor. So that we will not talk.
Last.
All right? No, but I'm just being very frank about it.
But let's see what happens. Let's see whether it gets through, it becomes a law, and let's see the effects also.